is Jeopardy! Please welcome our contestants. Player one. Player two. Player three. And now, here is the host of Jeopardy, Alex Trebek.
Thank you, Johnny Gilbert, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. Let's take you right now into the Jeopardy round. Clues are worth $200 to $1,000 in these categories. It all adds up. You're going to win a Pulitzer. USA Today's Memorable Quote Makers. Literary Characters. College Team Nicknames. And Not a Verb. Player one, you start. Capable, succeed, accomplish. Okay, player three. Sorry, that's wrong. Any other takers? Let's hear it, player one. Yes. Player one, pick again. It's 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 8. Player one. Good. Player one, you pick again, please. 3 plus 53 plus 100 plus 153 equals this. Okay, player one. No. Anyone else? Okay, player two. Right. Player two, where do we start? 1012 plus 255 plus 11 equals this. It's player one. Sorry, that's wrong. Anyone else? Player two. Nope. Sorry. Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this? Let's hear it, player three. Good. Hey, you're on the plus side. Player three, where do we start? 144 plus 244 plus 344 equals this. Player one. Yeah. You got it. Great, you're back into it now. Player one, you start. 1144 plus 1793 equals this. Okay, player two. Good for you. You've got some money again. All right, let's get back into this. Player two has control. UC Berkeley's teams are known as the Golden These. Yes, player two. Aww. Sorry. Anyone else? Okay, player one. That's correct. All right, let's get back into this. Player one. Paint, brush, easel. It's player one. Correct. Player one. Pick again. Wind, wander, wonderful. Player one. Anyone else? Let's hear it, player three. That's it. A lot of clues, a lot of categories, player three. Make salt, pepper, sage. It's player two. Right you are. Player two, you're in command of the board as we continue, right? Candor, center, canter. Yes, player two. Anyone else? Yes, player one. Good for you. Player one, where do we start? Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. Player one? Hey, you're right. You get to pick again, player one. It takes a village to raise a child. Here's the correct response. Hillary Clinton. Player one, back to you for our next selection. People, I just want to say, can we all get along? It's player one. Yeah! That's correct. Player one, pick again. Keep hope alive. Let's hear it, player one. Yep. Select again. How do we know when irrational exuberance has unduly escalated asset values? Let's hear it, player three. Yes. Player three, you start. Pepperdine's nickname is this, and some lap not too far away from the campus. Okay, player three. Nope. Anyone else? Okay, player two. Nope. Any other takers? Yes, player one. Good. Player one, start us. This word describing Penn State's Lions comes from an Algonquian term meaning single mountain. Yes, player three? Nope. Sorry. Any other takers? It's player one. Nope. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? Yes, player two. Good. Okay, let's get back into this. Player two, you make the next selection as we... This University of Idaho nickname is from an old Germanic tribe whose name has come to mean troublemakers. Here's the response we were looking for. The Vandals. We return to you, player 2. The University of Texas at Arlington uses this nickname, shared by the NBA team closest to them. Player 3? Right. Player 3, you're in command of the board as we continue right now. Julia Keller won in 2005 for her reporting on a 10-second event, the destruction of Utica, Illinois, by one of these. Let's hear it, player 2. Correct. Player 2, make a selection, please, as we continue. In 2007, counterintelligence columnist Jonathan Gold became the first critic of these to win a Pulitzer. It's player 2. No. Anyone else? Let's hear it, player 1. Oh. Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this? Yes, player 3? Right.
Yeah! Woo!
Player 3, where do we start? This city's Herald won in 1993 for public service for coverage of Hurricane Andrew and its aftermath. Yes, player 2. Yep. A lot of clues, a lot of categories, player 2. Make the first 2 Pulitzers for writing these, to the New York Tribune and Louisville Courier-Journal, didn't name the authors. We're talking about editorials. You get to pick again, player 2. Russell Jones won for his reporting about Soviet repression from this capital in 1956. Okay, player 2. That's not it. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? Here's the response we were looking for. Budapest. You get to pick again, player 2. In A Christmas Carol, the ghost of this dead partner is the first spirit to visit Scrooge. Okay, player 2. Sorry. Any other takers? It's player 1.
Yeah!
That is correct. Player 1, you're in A Scandal in Bohemia and other early stories, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle gave this physician a wife, Mary Morstan. Okay, player 2. Sorry, that's wrong. Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this? We're talking about Dr. Watson. Please pick again, player 1. Let's get Sarah's assistance on this clue.
John Tenniel depicted this Lewis Carroll title character in 1865.
Here's the response we were looking for. Alice. Player 1, back to you.
Woo!
answer. It's the Daily Double. You're tied with player 3. Player 1, please select your wager. Answer this. The invaders in this H.G. Wells novel are described as having tentacles and a peculiar V-shaped mouth. Congratulations, you're still in first, player 1. Let's have a look at the $1,000 clue. Ivan Petrovich Voynitsky is the title character of this 1899 Chekhov play. Here's the correct response. Uncle Vanya. The Double Jeopardy round will begin right after this. Let's see what happens in Double Jeopardy with these categories awaiting the players. Statues. U.S. City History. Science Potpourri. Football. What the H? Note the quotation marks. And fictional females. Where do we begin, player 2? This cup representing Canadian football supremacy was donated by the descendant of a tea namesake. Yes, player 2. Sorry, that's wrong. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? Let's hear it, player 1. Hey, you're right. Player 1, you start us off. On January 10th, 2010, this island republic was struck by a devastating earthquake. Okay, player 1. No, sorry. Anyone else? Okay, player 3. No. Anyone else? Okay, player 2. Yes. Where do we begin, player 2? It's the HT in HTTP and HTML. It's player 1. That's it. Player 1, where do we start? Olympic event won twice by Jackie Joyner-Kersee. Okay, player 1. No. Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this? We're talking about the heptathlon. In the 18th century BC, he wrote down his famous list of do's and don'ts. Okay, player 2. Correct. And you're back into some money. Okay, let's get back into this. Player 2, you make the next selection as we... Answer. The first of the 2 daily doubles. Player 2, you're in last place. Well, player 2, give us a wager. The clue. Used in marching bands, it's a large bass tuba that encircles the player's body. That's correct. Please pick again, player 2. This age is divided into the Paleolithic, the Mesolithic, and the Neolithic. It's player 1. That's right. Way to go. Player 1, you're in command of the board as we continue right now. This Nabokov nymphette first appears peering over dark glasses. Okay, player 2. No, sorry. Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this? Let's hear it, player 3. That's correct. Okay, let's get back into this. Player 3, you make the next selection. As Isadora Wing is the lusty heroine of this 1973 Erica Jong bestseller. Here's the response we were looking for. Fear of flying. Player 3, pick again. Becky Thatcher is in Tom Sawyer. This Becky is the heroine of Vanity Fair. It's player 1. Sorry, that's wrong. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? It's player 3. Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this? Player 2. Yeah! A lot of clues, a lot of categories. Player 2. This title heroine tries to set up her friend Harriet with Mr. Elton, and is dismayed when Elton proposes to her instead. Okay, player 3. Correct. Player 3, make a selection, please, as we continue. This Sue Grafton detective was once part of the Santa Teresa Police Department. Here's what we were looking for. Kinsey Milhone. You get to pick again, player 3. The sower atop Nebraska's state capitol in this city is tossing seeds to the Great Plains 400 feet below. Yes, player 1? Yeah! Right you are. Player 1, you're in command of the board as we continue right now. The Oxford English Dictionary defines it as the science of man or of mankind in the widest sense. Let's hear it, player 2. Nope. Anyone else? Here's the correct response. Anthropology. We return to you, player 1. As a visiting scientist at Caltech, Carl Sagan contributed to missions to this planet with about 80% Earth's mass. Here's the correct response. Venus. You again, player 1. Gustav Kirchhoff and Robert Bunsen used this prismed scope to see the bands of colored light each element produced. Yes, player 1?
Yeah!
Yep. Select again. Named for a physicist, it's the amount of work done when 1 amp passes through 1 ohm of resistance for 1 second. Okay, player 3. That's correct. Player 3, you start us off. This Missouri city wasn't named for Scott or Janice, but for the Reverend Harris G., an early settler there. Player 2. Hey, you're right. Player 2, where do we start? 2 months before the Declaration of Independence, the Rhode Island Independence Act was signed in this city. Let's hear it, player 3.
Yeah!
That's correct. Player 3, you start us off. It was Arizona's territorial capital from 1867 to 1877, and a university was founded there in 1885. Yes, player 3? Good.
Yeah! Woo!
Select again. Indianapolis was laid out in a wheel pattern inspired by this other major city some 500 miles away. Okay, player 3. You got it. Player 3, choose again. Here's Jimmy with the clue.
It was uninhabited when it was chosen as a territorial capital in 1836 and named for a president who died that year.
Okay, player 3. Anyone else? Let's hear it, player 2. That's right. Way to go. Okay, let's get back into this. Player 2, you make the next selection as he caught the catch on January 10th, 1982. Here's what we were looking for. Dwight Clark. We return to you, player 2. This Cowboys wide receiver of the 1990s is in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Here's what we wanted. Michael Irvin. We return to you, player 2. Here's Jimmy to start us off.
In this type of trick play, the quarterback hands off to a running back, who hands off to a tight end going in the opposite direction.
Here's the correct response. A reverse. Please pick again, player 2. To see this NFL team's home games at FedEx Field, take a shuttle bus from the Landover Metro stop. Let's hear it, player 2. No, that's not right. Any other takers? Okay, player 3.
Yeah!
That's it. Player 3, start us. Blue Earth, Minnesota has a definitely giant 55-foot statue of this pea pusher. Let's hear it, player 1. That's correct. All right, let's get back into this. Player 1. Sam Houston stands 67 feet tall along Interstate 45 in this state. Here's the correct response. Texas. You again, player 1. Let's go over to Jimmy.
A statue of this discoverer of Florida stands near the street named for him in St. Augustine?
Let's hear it, player one. Yep. And the last clue for $2,000. Answer, the second daily double. You are currently in second place. What are you going to wager? Answer this. In 2003, a statue of this man was pulled down just a year after it had gone up to mark his 65th birthday. Hey, you're right. Congratulations to all of you. You'll be continuing on to Final Jeopardy when we come back. Now, Final Jeopardy coming right up right now with this category. Organizations. So, what's your wager? The Final Jeopardy clue is, in 2003, Allied Command Europe and Allied Command Atlantic, parts of this organization, merged. What did you put as your response? And this correct response will add how much to your score? What did you say? And that correct response will add... Did you come up with a correct response? How much do you add to your total with that correct response? This makes you our new champion, Player 3, so congratulations. We'll see you next time.